All right, we're here with Bonnie swim coach Sean McNamee as we head into the Atlantic 10 week, and the Bonnie's the defending A10 champions. Sean, a new team in the mix this year as George Mason comes in the conference, and you think they're going to be right there at the very top of the challenge.
A very solid addition. The conference, we lost Xavier last year and Butler on the women's side, but with the addition of George Mason, that brings actually a stronger team into the mix. So tightens up the points and is going to make it, for what it looks like on paper, a three-horse race coming down the pike here with all three teams in very good position to challenge.
Going into the meet, it's a long meet, starting Wednesday and finishing up on Saturday night. What do you, as a coach, strategy-wise, what are the type of decisions that you have to make going into the A10?
Well, right now we put a lot of premium, and one of our fortes having some of the top swimmers in the conference, and that really benefited us last year. And so with that, with relays counting double points, those relay points are key. And so we still have a lot of decisions to make on the relay end of things. And the first two relays are the most difficult, with the 200 medley and 800 free relay on Wednesday night, because you really don't have anything to weigh it off of other than where you feel kids are at if we have competitive choices to make. And we do. We've got some stroke choices that we need to make some decisions on, and we really don't have the balance of the meet to look at to make those decisions. The rest of the relays kind of take care of themselves because you get to see how people are swimming, where people are at, and use the momentum in your favor there and the evaluative means that you have. But those first two relays are key. And last year we were fortunate enough to win all 5 relays, which was monstrous, and to repeat something like that is unrealistic. But we definitely want to be capitalizing on our relay opportunities. That's probably the biggest choice as far as strategy goes. And then you have a little bit of, there's also some choices. We have some versatile kids. And when you've got the A10 Swimmer of the Year and the A10 Rookie of the Year, you got some kids and they swim outside of their events as well with other strokes. We've got some strategy decisions to make there as well. And the most exciting point is also Vyacheslav Shukin has a provisional time in the 100 freestyle for NCAAs. So we're hoping he's going to be able to improve upon that and get invited into the meet.
Let's talk about your top performers and what they have to do in order for the Bonnies to repeat, and where do they stand in terms of their training and so forth? How good do you feel about them going in?
It's a crazy time of the year because the way that we structure the season, we don't rest during the year. We don't rest for a December invite, which a lot of teams will. We grind throughout the 6 months for these 3.5 days. And so that's pretty harried. And putting all your eggs in one basket, that's a risky way to do it, but it's the way that we need to do it. And it's the way we have been doing it, and it's worked out well for us. And so we're going to stick with that. With that comes the ups and downs of what goes on. We had 4 kids afflicted with mono, 2 of which were knocked out for the year, 2 of which that were able to continue swimming. Everybody's going to have their turmoil to deal with, and we've had ours. It hasn't been a picture-perfect year as far as avoiding adversity. We've had our share of adversity, so we've got to show some character. So with that boiling down to that 3.5 days, that's a lot of emotion that's packed into 3.5 days with 6 months of dedicated training, twice a day, 5:45 in the morning, every afternoon. That's a lot of work for 3.5 days of payback, but the ultimate goal is what we got to achieve last year with capturing the championship, and that's our goal, is to try to repeat, and we have a team that's fully capable of doing that. It's just a matter of executing, and it's 1 to 17 on the swimming end that score points, all 17 competitors, and then 2 divers is going to make our squad, and we need to hit on as many cylinders as we possibly can and get some help along the way with people canceling out and us canceling others out, and so on and so forth. It's a chess match that will be managed over 3.5 days that you'd like to have more control over, but unfortunately you don't.
Inevitably, these meets seem to come down to Saturday night, correct?
Many times they do, yeah. Ironically, many times they will. On Saturday will end up being a very tight and emotional evening. But yeah, it crescendos up, and last year UMass was right there, and we had been runner-up to them for 5 or 6 years, and a lot of emotion came the other way from upending them and us taking the title. And so I know UMass is extremely motivated, but Little do I want these guys to discredit George Mason. George Mason's extremely competitive coming in, and they cannot be overlooked. And the team's done a fantastic job of putting last year in the rearview mirror, and now we can kind of feed off it because we're getting back into that realm and let the newbies understand what the feeling is like, and this being their Super Bowl. But the team's been very dedicated and very responsible about putting last year in the rearview mirror and not thriving on that or expecting things to happen easily.
Sean, good luck this week.
Thank you much.